Today I'm going to show you how I painted this small cabinet a custom color using Black Dog Salvage furniture paint. Hi, I'm Liberty from Before and Afters, a project blog where I show you how to make hard things easier. Well, as you know, it's very hard for me to resist any furniture that I see on the side of the road. So when I saw this little cabinet, I snatched it right up. I thought it would be the perfect catch-all spot for this place right inside my door, and I was right. I love using this cabinet, and I am ready to paint it. As always, first I cleaned it with TSP. Before painting, and now I'm going to spray it with shellac. This is to keep anything from bleeding through when I paint it. The directions for the shellac say to let it become tacky between the coats and then to let it dry for an hour. So can you believe that I've been wanting to paint this for about a year, but I had so many other things going on, and then I had appendicitis, and then Christmas came, and so many things. So I'm really ready to get this done. I wanted to try spray painting this piece with my Wagner paint sprayer. I've used it before, I'm comfortable using it, and I have not yet sprayed this furniture paint, so I thought I would try it. So I'm touching it to see if it's tacky, and it takes a little while to get tacky. You can kind of hear it. And then I need to spray it again. It was about the middle of winter when I was painting this, and we had just cleaned up an area in our basement, and I realized it would be so nice to paint this in the basement. I wouldn't have to go out to the garage, and the basement should be about the right temperature even though it's unheated. The paint recipe that I'm going to use calls for Blue Ridge and galvanized, and this will make the color Architect Blue. It's 1 part galvanized to 1 part Blue Ridge, but I'm not sure that I want that much Blue Ridge in it, so I think I'm going to start with half a part Blue Ridge to 1 part galvanized, and then add the other half if I want it to be darker and brighter. So let's see how it turns out. I am planning to apply it. I have always brushed on Black Dog Salvage furniture paint, but this time I want to try spray painting it on with a Wagner spray painter. I've used this for lots of other little projects, and I just want to see how it will do spraying this little table. I think maybe I can save a lot of time spraying it on instead of brushing this little shelf unit. So we will see. I had not used this color for a long time, so it really needed a good stir, and I thought you would like to see how it looks. Eventually I had to put the camera down and use both hands so I could hold the can while I stirred. So with regular wall paint, you can't really mix your own color, but that's the wonderful thing about this furniture paint is you can mix the color until you get what you want and then paint your project. and I'm going to have more to say about that later on in this video. So I am mixing a half part of Blue Ridge with a whole part of galvanized, and I think I have about half a cup of galvanized, so I'm adding this 1/4 cup of Blue Ridge. And then I will stir it up and see if I want to add another 1/4 cup of Blue Ridge or not. So I decided, yes, I do want the other half part of Blue Ridge to make it darker. So I had a certain color in my mind that I wanted this cabinet to be to match the colors in my living room. I was thinking kind of a turquoise peacock blue, and I thought that architect blue was that color, but it turns out it wasn't. So here's what happened. I had in my mind a certain color, and when I mixed up Blue Ridge and galvanized, it looked a lot more country blue to me than I wanted it to be. So I started experimenting, and I opened up Keep It Teal, which is a very nice, rich green. It's more green than it's showing on this screen right now. So what I came up with was 1 part Keep It Teal to 1 part Blue Ridge, and that gives me a really nice, rich, peacocky color with more blue than green, which is what I wanted. So now that I've got that formula down, I'm going to mix it in a large enough portion for my paint sprayer. I learn something new almost every time I do a project, and what I learned this time was mix a really tiny portion of your colors until you get the color you like. Over here I had about half a cup of each color, and I'll use it for something else eventually, but this is really the color I was going for, and I think you're gonna love it on my shelf unit. Black Dog Salvage does have a paint recipe for a color that they call peacock, and it uses 2 parts Keep It Teal to 1 part Architect Blue. But for me, I just wanted an equal part of each color for that color that I had in my mind. Great. I have my Wagner paint sprayer all ready to go. I just had to put a little bit of drops of oil in here to lubricate it according to the directions. And I have to put this in here. Make sure this is on real tight. And screw it on. Oh, I might be going the wrong way. Am I going the wrong way? I've done this before. There it goes. Okay. You gotta do that really carefully so you don't spill it. And it's time to hook it up. Okay, before you start spray painting your piece, you always want to practice on some cardboard or something. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be a little loud. And once I'm satisfied with how it's working, I'll move this out of the way and start spraying my cabinet. Okay? So here we go. Did I not thin it out enough? Why isn't it working? I wonder what this does. I've messed with that before, but usually I haven't had to. Pause. So apparently this knob, if you turn it counterclockwise, it will put more paint in, and if you turn it clockwise, it'll put less paint. So I'm gonna try turning it counterclockwise because I think I need some more paint. It's full on open, and if it doesn't spray right, then I will close it some. So let's see if it works now. Ooh, there it comes. Can you see it? Can you see it all right here? Now, okay. All right. So that looks pretty good, I guess. Maybe I'll close it a little bit. It's glopping a little bit. I'm gonna turn this because I want it to spray that way. Oh, it's still glopping. I don't want glops. But I do have my paintbrush if it glops too much. Okay, I think that'll be good, but let's test it one more time on the back. It's still glopping. Did you see that? Why is it glopping? We're gonna wipe it off a little bit there. See if that helps. Okay. Let me close it. Maybe it's because I thinned it out too much. Not happy. I'm gonna have to paint it. Rats. You see that? It's not supposed to do that.
It looks the wrong color.
So it's really glopping on, and you are supposed to overspray from one side to the other side, so maybe that was my problem. But I do have a backup paintbrush for such a time as this. So I just might have to end up brushing it because my spray paint technique isn't working right now. So, okay, I want to stop right here and talk about something. I had used my paintbrush like a spatula when you're cooking and you clean out the bowl. I had used my paintbrush to clean out the measuring cup when I had mixed my colors. And when I painted that spot right there, some of the green showed through, and I really loved that. So I'm going to end up using that at the end to let some of that green show through. And that's one of the things you can do when you brush paint versus spraying it. So I'm really happy that happened that way this time. Okay, we have gone to plan B. We've got the paintbrush just like the good old-fashioned way. And yeah, maybe I should not have thinned out the paint like I did. I'm not sure. It's just one of those things. I've done a lot of painting with the paintbrush, and I thought I might like to try the sprayer. So I'm just gonna have to try that sprayer again another day. So, I do like how the green and the blue. There's kind of like two tones showing up this way. I like that. I'll do that on purpose. Mostly I'm trying to get these glops off before they dry and look bad and I have to sand. As always, be sure to check the video description for links to the blog post with more details and links to all the products that I am using in this video. So I have struggled with what to call this piece of furniture. It's a small cabinet, it has drawers and a door, and then I realized this is a bathroom storage cabinet, but I'm not using it in the bathroom. So I will put a link in the description below of a bathroom storage cabinet similar to this one, just in case you like it. I love it a lot. It's light, yet it has small drawers, one big drawer across the bottom, and a door with shelves. So it has everything in a really small piece. A lot of thanks to Black Dog Salvage Furniture Paint for sponsoring this project. Do you have any questions?
No.
If you were a viewer, would you have any questions?
I would say, what's wrong with this camera lady? She's holding it so weird. I keep accidentally tilting it up, and I don't mean to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm putting my second coat of blue on, and I also wanted to bring some of the green out. So I dipped my paintbrush in some green while my blue was still wet. And at first I started on this side that I know is going to be facing the wall, and I'm going to work on that some more. But then I moved to the top, and I'm dipping my brush in some distilled water to help blend in these colors. And if I get too much green, then I will dip it in some blue again until I get a good blend. I just wanted a little bit of green, so that's why I'm saying I'm probably going to dip it in some blue again. It's drying kind of quickly down here, which is why I need to add some water as I'm blending. And yeah, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Okay, here's how it's working for me. I dip it in the green. I dip the brush in the green and get some of it off by dabbing it on the stick. Maybe a little more. Then I put some on the door and or wherever. And then to blend it in, I grab my original brush, maybe put a little more of my original paint on, come back, and then as I brush over it, it does just the right amount of green that I want to get in there and blends it in real nicely. So that's how I'm doing it. When you're painting drawers with a marbly effect, it's always good to try to stick them back in so you can see that you like the pattern. So I did that. The one thing I'm not sure about is my marble goes horizontal on the drawers, but it goes vertical on the door. And on the door, the beadboard is vertical. So I don't know if I should have done vertical on the drawers also or what, but I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to look fine. So after this dries, I will maybe sand it a little bit, maybe not, and put the clear coat on. Okay, it's time to put the top coat on. 2 or 3 coats, and it will be ready to put back in my living room. I did very, very lightly sand it before I started putting the clear coat. In fact, I think all I used was a magic eraser. That's not really a sanding pad at all. And I had only put on 2 coats of blue with some of the green. So it was already really smooth. I didn't really feel the need to sand it. So it always dries clear. A clear coat is kind of like Mod Podge. It goes on white and cloudy kind of, but it always dries clear. After you've painted your clear coat on, if you see any drips you can take a dry brush and kind of smooth out those drips. You can also take a wet finger and smooth them out before they dry. Then you won't have any drips. Well, here it is, a small bathroom cabinet storage turned catch-all cabinet for me to drop things going in and out my door. But I did put something pretty on top so that will force me to use the drawers and the door. The color turned out exactly perfect. As you can see, it matches my little rug. I hope this project has inspired you, and thank you so much for watching.